If you deliberately set to work to deceive another person, is that not deliberate evil?
Most probably you could not help yourself. There was such a pressure of circumstances or something that you could not do otherwise. These are all difficult problems, and they take a long time to get used to, because we are accustomed to thinking in the wrong way. For instance, when we look at historical events, we take as conscious just those things that cannot be conscious, and the things that may be conscious we take as mechanical, as a kind of process. Now, if we return to this idea that only a very few can develop and find hidden possibilities in themselves, the question naturally arises: what determines the difference? Why do some people have a chance and some people have no chance? It is quite true that some people have no chance from the very beginning. They are born in such circumstances that they can learn nothing, or they are themselves defective in some way. So we exclude defective people because there is nothing to be said about them. We are interested in people who are in normal circumstances, and they themselves must be normal, with ordinary possibilities of learning, understanding, and so on. Now, out of these people, only a very few will be capable of making even the first step in the way of development. How and why is it so? All people in the ordinary conditions of life live under two kinds of influences. First, there are the influences created in life, desire for riches, fame, and so on, which we call influences A. Secondly, there are other influences which come from outside life, which work in the same conditions, although they are different, and we call these influences B. They reach man in the form of religion, literature, or philosophy. These influences of the second kind are conscious in their origin. Influences A are mechanical from the beginning. Man can meet these B influences, or can pass them by without noticing them, or he can hear them and think that he understands them, use the words, and at the same time, have no real understanding at all. These two influences really determine the further development of man. If man accumulates influences B, the results of these influences crystallize in him. I use the word crystallize in the ordinary sense, and form in him a certain kind of center of attraction, which we call magnetic center. The compact mass of memory of these influences attracts him in a certain direction, or makes him turn in a certain direction. When magnetic center is formed in man, it will be easier for him to attract to himself more influences B, and not to be distracted by influences A. With ordinary people, influences A can take so much of their time that nothing is left for other influences, and they are hardly affected at all by influences B. But if this magnetic center in man grows, then after some time he meets another man, or a group of people, from whom he can learn something different, something that is not included in influences B, and which we call influence C. This influence is conscious in origin and action, and can only be transmitted by direct instruction. Influences B can come through books and works of art and things like that, but influence C can only come by direct contact. If a man in whom magnetic center has grown meets with a man or a group through whom he comes into contact with influence C, that means that he has made the first step. Then there is a possibility of development for him.